Hey now, it's Sharon, and I'm back to share another idea on how to reform 12, the police, cops. I'm sharing my experiences along with my perspective in hopes of helping you just see it a different way, but basically to use this platform on reforming the police. I put a plan together and I share bits and pieces of it in the videos. And what I wanted to, let me say this. I'm a retired detective. I worked for 20 years for a southeastern city in the U.S., and I was also in the military. Again, I'm sharing experience along with perspective. And I have an actual plan written up, and I'm sharing another piece of that right now. All the instances in media that we see with the police violating Fourth Amendment rights and things like that, and just basically ego policing. I could say I was probably guilty of that a couple of times. Just getting my feelings hurt and taking it personal. And of course, I've learned throughout my career, it's the uniform that people are either angry at or glad to see. Some of us police officers don't realize that because they don't know Sharon personally. Most of the time, they don't know me personally. And I realized that. I started to take an inwards look at myself through, because of the whistleblowing that I did and the ostracism and the retaliation that I went through. So I see places where we can reform or change or what is it called? Retool policing. I didn't say abolish, I said retool. And it starts with the individual person, the career officer, the person that's just coming in. And I wanted to ask this question. How many of you know scary officers? I'm asking this question of police officers. How many of you know scary officers, what we used to call scary? Afraid of their own shadow. They get brave and bold when everybody else is around, but real timid and shy when they're by themselves. When they put on the uniform, there's an arrogance about them that they don't have out of uniform. They're the ones that escalate the situation when they come to calls and you don't want them around. Quick to draw the firearm or some type of weapon in just the lowest of arguments. Scary officers. Do you know somebody like that? And if you don't, you might be the scary officer. I'm just saying. But you probably know a scary officer, someone you don't want at your calls that'll escalate the situation. Here's another question for relatives of police officers. If you're a relative of a police officer, ask that police officer, do they know scary officers? I'm pretty sure, I could say probably 99.9% of the time, an officer knows another scary officer. And with that being said, part of my plan, or in my plan, I implement a survey to be done, like I just did with asking the questions. And it has to be done anonymously to point out the scary officers. We can get them more training, get them into maybe some self-help classes to some degree. But if you have the other officers identify the officer that might just be lacking in some kind of training, that'll help. Because a lot of times the higher ups, they'll make these decisions without even asking the people on the ground that's doing the work. They won't even ask your opinion. I used to hate that. Oh my God. Why aren't you asking me, the one driving the car, what do we need in a car? I kind of know, but I'm not going to say nothing. But yeah, that used to just aggravate the living daylights out of me. You're asking me, you never ask the people on the ground doing the work, what do they need? Or what kind of training do you want to see happen? And so, yeah, that's part of my plan. The survey anonymously, identify those officers, and make the training voluntary first. Or maybe, yeah, make it, I have it in the plan as voluntary first. We'll see how that goes, along with the other things in the plan. But yeah, I just want to ask that question. And another scary officer, because I highlighted this here, another scary officer is one that knows the entire criminal code in policing for whatever state you're in. They know it frontwards and backwards, but they don't have a belief in anything higher than themselves. And this is my opinion. I think that's dangerous because you have all this knowledge and all this wisdom, and you don't believe in anything higher than yourself, a higher power, something that grounds you to the truth, grounds you to the ground. So you don't see yourself higher, or you're not looking down at folks as a police officer. I think that's the most dangerous individual. They know every ordinance, every misdemeanor charge, felony charge. They know the whole book, but they don't have a belief in anything higher than themselves, not even their children or their family. That's a dangerous officer, and that's a scary officer. My opinion. Yeah, but that's all I want to share with you right now. Take a look at our online store. The link is in the description. I created some notebooks. The links for those are in the description. It'll take you straight to Amazon. And so with that being said, you guys, always remember, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. Talk to you guys later.